thank you everyone, and welcome to this new series of Xobin Talks, the new season. This is the third season of Xobin Talks, and every season we get in touch with expert professionals, people who've been there, done that, and who've hired the best people in the industry. Today, my guest is Dudhat. She is currently working at Syndigo, and she's got such a vast amount of experience in customer success that we really wanted to share her insights to our large pool of customers as well as people who are joining in. Uh, it would be wrong for me to introduce you because you've done such a stellar amount of work. You worked at very fast growing companies, Customer Success Box, Syndigo. Uh, so Anu, take it forward and tell us a little bit about yourself and how did you break into this industry.
Yeah, thank you so much, first of all, Amrit, for inviting me to this talk. I am really excited to be here and share my journey. I don't know whether I really made it to that level. Of course, a lot of things to do, but yeah, I think I can say that I've been working with various fast growing companies, and customer success is my passion. Like I sleep and eat customer success every day. So yeah. If I want to tell you about myself, I think for most of my life, I've been in Pune, the city in India. I've done my graduation there, and and then after my graduation in electrical engineering, I think in the first year itself, I realized I don't want to do this. So, like most of the people. But then I started looking for, these fancy words of startup. Okay, this is something exciting. So used to go to a lot of entrepreneurship cells. And that's when I think I started reading about what exactly is startup, what happens. And that prompted my interest to be in these kind of an industry where it's a fast growing industry, and it's something that I would want to do. Of course, with time after engineering, I joined one edtech company, sort of, but it was not a fast growing company, but it gave me an exposure to understand what really is a product versus services. Okay. And I remember implementing an edtech product inside for our automating our admissions. And while interacting there, I realized, oh, okay, this looks interesting. How do I get here? So I think then I found out the top, I think, 5 companies in Pune who are on the emerging way. That time Icertis and all have already made it, so I was looking for smaller companies to start my career with. And fortunately, I think I got in touch with iMocha, which is again, it was Interview Mocha by then. They really had no customer success. At least I was the 15th employee. And I went to a founder and said, I really want to work in startup. Okay, but I don't know coding. Okay, what is something that I can do? He said, it seems you are good on social media. Let's start with marketing. I started with marketing, but in 15 days, they realized, okay, we want to start, customer success as a division, and can you take it, Anu? And I had no clue. I had no clue what customer success is, but I was like all charged up to start the journey. I took over, I took the responsibility of customer success there. And I can talk a lot about what was the iMocha journey, but yeah, it started with iMocha. Build a customer success. I think I was the first hire. So starting from scratch of setting up our first customer call. Okay. Our first customer call was set up by me, because before then there was nobody used to talk. Only salespeople used to have a conversation with customers. And slowly moving into the journey where we set up a support team, where we set up success, created plans, hired team members, really started thinking about scalability because company was growing. And I do want to share a story on a great upsell in the later part. But yeah, that prompted me to a situation where I was so much in love with customer success that I wanted to do customer success as a full-time part. And I figured that that can only be done by doing, by working in a customer success technology company where my customers are, VPs of customer success. I am doing customer success, and we are talking just our product is customer success, our marketing is customer success. So that's when I think I reached out to Puneet from Customer Success Box. That was the only Indian company doing that. And oh boy, I think I enjoyed my role so much. Like, as you can understand, everything of
We are
customer.
fans of Puneet and the work that he's done. I mean, we know him
Yeah,
very.
I think, yeah, he is a true mentor, and he's shaped the customer success and the industry. And working with Puneet has made me, put my wings into every direction. Like I took a lot of flights into every part of the customer success as an subject. So yeah, I can talk a lot, but yeah, that was a great journey where I think then I got interacted. I was, interacting with a lot of customer success, implementing world-class customer success, because that was an expectation when you write to, let's say, create a support ticket at Zendesk or Freshdesk. You expect the best response because they are setting up the support industry, right? That was our case where we wanted to be best of customer success, and in turn hired and built a great customer success team that I'm really, really proud of. And now I think I've moved from there to Syndigo as a company. It's $200 million big startup. It's still a startup, I would say. It's a big company, but the region I work with, it's an international division, and it grows as fast as I could. So at the moment, I think I am at the cusp of my journey where we function as a startup, but has an impact of a multinational company. So I think I consider myself the most fortunate to be in this situation. And yeah, that's like my background of why I'm so passionate about customer success. And yeah, I think it was a long answer, but yeah, thank
But
you.
great. I mean, the reason why we were really interested, and I was telling this backstage as well, 3 years back at Xobin, we were not really having too many of our clients hire for the role of a customer success executive or manager. Today at Xobin, we have close to 700 customers, and we actively see that at any given point of time, like over the past 2 quarters, we've had 30 customers who are hiring for a CS position, customer success position, which is the reason why we got really interested and we said, yes, this role is really hot right now, and we need to talk about this. But there's a common set of questions that we get as an assessment platform. We get a few set of questions. There is a confusion in this space. What is the difference between customer success, customer service? There's still a lot of confusion on this space. Could you share some light on that? Because a lot of companies confuse customer service with customer success. Program management is also included in that. How would you define the role of customer success? And more importantly, what is not customer success? Because we need to tell people what is customer success, and we also need to tell them this is definitely not customer success.
Yeah. Perfect. I know, this customer success is such a hot keyword that everybody wants to do. It's like a data science. Everybody wants to add that their softwares are run by ML. But it's difficult to differentiate what's really ML and AI. But yeah, we talk about it a lot. So customer success is one of the reasons why it is fast growing is because the world is moving to more SaaS subscriptions, and now entire world has figured out how to create products. They figured out who are the target market. They figured out marketing is like a great SaaS marketing is a big subject. We have nailed down how to market, how to sell. Okay, but after getting customers, okay, when your investors ask, when you go for valuation or next round of funding, apart from all this, they're asking you about MRR. monthly recurring revenue. And monthly recurring revenue is, when you talk about that, then we realize customer success needs to be plugged in to make this happen. Okay. I think everybody now understands this, but when they go for hiring or looking for, even I think I would say other part of the world, when even candidate knows now customer success is a really high paying job.
Yeah.
Okay. So any developer would want to learn data science. It's as simple as that, because that's a high paying salary. So every customer success. So when coming back to your question of customer service, I consider customer service is a very transactional job. So when you lost your luggage, you call airlines. When you want to do something which you're not able to do online, like you want to reschedule your flight, or it can be something as my internet is not working and not able to troubleshoot. What do I do in this case? Then what you do is you either email your provider or you call them. And the people who answers that, I would want to call them as a customer service people, because they are working on that tactical issue. Okay. The moment they resolve it for you, they're done. They don't have any relationship with you. Okay. They don't talk about your success. They don't have interest. It's just a problem that needs to be solved. So customer service people, I think, are good on phone, are giving templatized answers. Okay, it's what I would want to categorize. Whereas program manager are these days, we used to call project managers, and program managers are basically there for running any program. It can be, in your case, it can be an onboarding program. It has a limited timeline. Okay, has multiple stakeholders, and there are tasks to finish, to take customer or you or whoever are parties involved, to take that to with a cost, with the right kind of a budget, resources and timeline and output forces, like they optimizing for that. But again, their job ends as soon as project ends. Now project can be 1 month, 6 months, 6 years, fine.
Yeah.
But again, they're loyal to the project, they're not loyal to the customer. Whereas the breed of customer success, or how I want to call it, are thinking about long-term success of a customer, okay, with the product. So they are the people who've got, I think, should have, whenever you join when you are working as a customer success, you need to have a right understanding of your business, like customer's business. If you are selling it to retail, then what are their challenges? Then how is that industry working on with your product? Like, how's your mapping? What value you are driving? Okay. And the third most important thing is, along with this, for a good CS, you need to also understand the CS as a domain. Because if you understand customer's business, you understand product, and you don't understand MRR, okay, then you're taking things casually. You're not able to understand the impact. So I want to call customer success as people, who are loyal to customers, not to ticket, not to timeline, but loyal to customers in their ever evolving journey. Because as a customer, when they buy your software, probably their problems are at basic. If I talk about Xobin, probably they are taking up when they have no screening process. But once they implement Xobin, their problem statement change. Like now they want to hire more talented people. They want to increase their coverage. As you see, the problem statement or the outcome that we are working with customers changes with time. Okay, so customer success manager, in my opinion, needs to be very consultative, strategic, and working with on a long-term customer plans. And even if there are a lot of jobs there, trust me, there are just a lot of customer success job and very few good customer success people. So yeah, so my managers are struggling to get right resource, and candidates are struggling to get to the right companies or enhance their skills. I think I would say that.
Great. So, I mean, what I understand is you're saying you as a customer success manager, you're the voice of the customer inside the product team, something of that sort.
Yeah, not just, I would say, not the product, not just the product, but customer success manager is actually the voice of customer internally as well as externally.
Correct. Yeah.
I will tell you how. So when customer success manager talks to customers, okay, they need to understand whatever, having whatever conversation you are having, it's affecting, of course, product. It's affecting the customer experience in the form of support tickets, some bug. So they are connected to engineering,
Mhm.
the business impact for which, like, everybody's working for customer, right? At the
Yeah.
end. Then they have to take the right kind of a feedback to the marketing team, because trust me, the for the next website copy, they have to come back to you for what are the use cases we are solving, what's the business value our customers are really getting. And
Yeah.
every, I think, 1.5 2 years your website changes. So you are basically taking all the understanding of customer success, taking it to more high level, 3 step high, painting the right picture, and that's your website. That's
Okay.
exactly what's your website. Again, you want customer testimonials, advocacy. For entire, where are you getting that from? Customer success. Apart from this, where is your CEO getting the numbers for retentions, upsells? Your valuation is determined on the basis of, one of the important factor is that. So it all links down. If you have a right customer success team who's functioning and thinking in all these parlances, okay, there's like different observational skill, then they're able to give right feedback and make people accountable.
Correct. I
Not
think
just giving the feedback, but making them accountable that we cannot have this bug. It's we cannot make this mistake again. And that's where I see, they are the whole and soul of what they are bringing in. Wrong feedback means you're developing wrong product, you're solving wrong use case, you're basically consider what it is not. Okay, when you ask me a question, what customer success is not,
mm,
customer success is not a postman. When you take the message without context, give it to somebody in
ah,
like, let's say a bug comes, okay, fine, you forward that to engineering, okay, that's a postman's job.
correct.
You don't need a customer success for that, right? But a real customer success manager would actually give a lot of context on what happened, why did they face, why it is so critical. Educating your engineering team on what was the impact is an addition. Of course they'll solve it. So, and I've given you very primary example probably of this, but for me, I think customer success is not a postman. They are more consultative. They bring value. They everywhere they are going, they are not solving anything. They're unlocking things. They're making people do right thing with the right. So I want to use word and alignment. They are constantly aligning right people to do right things. So they're drivers in the customer journey.
I think that's a very, very comprehensive. That's a great answer. I think uh, that very clearly articulated what customer success is not, and clearly it's way more strategic, way more consultative than the pure simple customer service. So it's probably 2 3 levels above customer service. So I think that's very, very well articulated.
Yeah.
You also
And
mentioned that
well,
uh,
I just want to add one more point to the people. Everybody wants to be strategic. They don't know how. Okay, they don't know how. So few things which is like, I would say, it's saying like you should drink. It's like, you, of course, everybody keeps on talking about you should get yourself hydrated. But the moment you say, okay, you should drink 3 liters of water, that life becomes easy. Okay. Same way, I think when people say strategic, okay, the simplest, I think, I know that's not the right way, but try to understand how many emails are you composing rather than replying.
mhm,
Everybody's busy replying, but moment you try to click on compose, you are starting a conversation.
correct.
It can be product roadmap sessions with customers. It can be advocacy. It can be helping them with something which they are not aware of, sharing best practices, insights, whatever. But you start with composing an email. So if you're asking me as a manager, of are your team strategic or not, try to understand how many emails are they composing for customers, like starting the conversations.
Nice. I think even we internally, we've not thought of this part. We don't really track how many new conversations have we created, but that's a good tip. We'll probably keep that in mind. Uh, so you started from edtech, then you moved to HR tech, then you moved to building customer success tools yourself, and right now you're at in the active content engine kind of space. Uh, you've been in different companies across different stages. And you mentioned that building a good customer success team is very, very important. If there is someone, a SaaS company who is starting out to build their customer success team, what should be the structure of that customer success team if they want to build that part from scratch? How should they go about setting that up? I mean, there's no right, wrong answer. It's always contextual. But in your experience, what are the bare minimum things that people have to do
Yeah.
in order to set up a good customer success team from scratch?
Yeah. I think I want to answer that with a couple of examples, plus what it is not. Okay.
Okay.
Before hiring your first customer success, you like real customer success. We do hire, I think, after founder feels burnout, they hire the first customer success.
Yeah.
That's like early, very early stage startups. But I think the expectation from a customer success, you should only start expecting something when you have a right support team.
Okay.
Because making sure, because I have been in this situation when in interview Mocha, I started out. In first couple of months, I realized we don't have a support team. Okay, you cannot talk proactive, strategic, blah 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 things with the customer if you don't have a support team. Okay, so I would first say that set up a right. Okay, can you first set up support team which is functioning, which is reputable, and customers knows that there is a chat or email or whatever kind of a support you want to build. First, start with support. Once you have that team, then then your customers have already know where to go when there is a fire, and then they have a bandwidth to talk to you, which is not fire.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so you also need to have 8 hours of work, define work, that what is something that is not fire. That's where the first cultural change in you starts. When you talk customer success. Second, I think so. Don't make a mistake of hiring a right customer success before having a right support team. Okay, and then eventually, of course, we all even though we say customer success, there is a part of you that is doing support. Okay, because it's a new age startup. So not product is 100%. You don't have an engineering which is 100%. You don't have a lot of things which is unsolved. So, and because you are facing customer, it's always, I think, part responsibility comes on you to get there. So I would say for early stage companies, try to have your first customer success people, okay, as more of a collaborators. They need to work hard there, and because your product is not functioning 100%, that's why they are doing a lot of fires for you. So I think a patient person who's a great collaborator should be your first hire.
Okay.
And who's bringing in lot of empathy. I think it's fine if they don't know the process. You don't have any process for the first hire, right? You don't. So that would be something I would say. Second thing. Third thing is, while building the customer success team, I'll tell you a simple example. When I think at iMocha, we were, a new lady has come, she's doing customer success. Something of this sort was the, I used to go for engineering for bugs. And that's how, like, I used to work with founders. There is nobody who knew that, it was not taking seriously, I would say, customer success as a thing. But then we were, I think at that time, some SMB customers were $100 per month kind of a package used to start with that. And we had a customer who got us $3,600. So it's an enterprise customer for us, and a founder has to really, really tell our sales guy that please give this to customer success now. You have to live it. So I started with that, and in 8 months, that 3.6 or $3,600, we signed a deal of $100,000. That customer. It was a blast in the organization that how it is possible, and that made us think about something we are doing it is right. I don't know what we did right, because that was our first ever customer to get 100K. And engineering has this cadence that whenever anything fails, they have this big meeting of root cause analysis. How can we mitigate risk? That. They have a very good process of where we went wrong. Okay. I think every customer success team needs to have, especially more in early stages, of what is going right. Because as you are growing, you're doing something right. You're upselling. Maybe it is with your founders or with your sales team. You are probably had your first testimonials, So try to document all the things which are going right. Everybody is taking care of what is going wrong. Okay. So document more and more of these things. That is, I think, my third thing. The fourth thing, I think I would say, it's segregating your customers.
Okay.
Not to everybody as same. That's like one of the biggest mistake we did. Is like crying baby gets the milk. The customer who's shouting more, getting more attention. And that happens everywhere. And most of the time, that's not the customer who's paying you the highest. Okay, it's some random customers keep on bugging you, draining all the energy that you had for the day on something. So I would say segmenting your customers and running your meetings. And that segmentation can be very simple. It can be as per industry, it can be as per products, and even the teams that are managing, it can be a one-person team.
Okay.
But tell them that, okay, you are for banking industry, you are for FMCG, or let's say in Xobin's case, you are for tech hiring, you're for, let's say, sales hiring. Then what happens internally, you try to gain more and more understanding of your customers when you segregate. The moment you talk about everybody, you're talking problems. You're always talking problems. So
you mentioned the first person. I mean, you mentioned that first go find a support person, then find someone who is very empathetic. Those are probably your first two hires in the customer success team. But how do you build out this team now? What kind of a org structure do you keep to this?
Okay.
And more importantly, you also kind of touched upon it. How does and who does the customer success report to? Because that's really the dynamics where, oh, I'm senior to you, or you got to listen to me, something of that sort. And just before that, I think we've got a couple of questions from Latres. Trust me, those questions are going to be answered, because at least two of them are already included in the set of questions that we have. Over to you, Anu, go forward.
So for building a customer success team, I think the first thing that you have to really understand is your ROI per person. Okay, why ROI per person is
this per paying customer or per employee?
Per employee. Okay. So first goes in segregating your customer into SMB, enterprise, and strategic. They may not be paying you today, but they have a high potential, like some big brand which started with you small, but they will go high. So always bucket these three. Okay. And when you are planning your team, okay, always plan for hiring in segments. That's the first segment. Second, don't treat your SMB hires equally as enterprise hires. Sorry. There needs to be a separate segregation of skill sets required to make sure that they grow in the respective areas, because with the SMBs, you're expecting volume, and with enterprise, you're expecting more money. So, which tells your dynamics for that SMB, you need to have a different thought process, a different leader. Okay. And this. Second, I think another bifurcation is, if you have these three segregated, inside those organizations, always try to find out different sectors, specialization. As I said, one person team is fine, but there needs to be, on those segregations, like there can be, and every business has further segregations. Okay. Third important thing is, do not hire same kind of people.
Okay, could you double down on that?
Yeah. So what happens is, most of the time, if your success leader is more process oriented, you end up hiring more process oriented people.
Correct.
Okay. But it doesn't work and pan out in this way, because your team is small today, but in 3 years, when when you will have team, but you will not have processes and understanding. Example, I'll give you one example. So when we start with, let's say, I had 3 hires in CSB. We made sure that we hire a slightly different skill set, like one person, okay, who's good on social media, let's say. Other person who's very process oriented. Third, had a good understanding of data, like can play really well with Excels and technology. Okay. So you see these different skill set. Now, while building team, how it panned out is, for that person, apart from their normal portfolio of customers, okay, a person who was analytical, we gave another project of setting up a CS technology to do that part. One was good with social media, because then there will be extroverts, pure extrovert who are good on cameras. Then you give them a small project of customer advocacy, go and do more interviews. What is happening, even though you've not hired them for this, you're building the competencies inside the organization, so that whenever you will mature at that level, okay, you're not relying on completely new person to come and tell you customer advocacy.
Correct.
Okay. So having a varied team, like diversity in the skill set, is very important while hiring and giving right kind of a projects, because by default, customer success is a very exhaustive job. It leads you towards burnout, and people leave. Feel that changing the job will solve their problem. So it's also, once they have some of things which are creative in nature, it helps them stuck with things. But to answer your overall question of org building, I would say this is one layer of org building, segmentation. Second is customer journey. So it's very important to understand whether you are owning the onboarding or not.
Okay.
Is customer success owning on onboarding, or is customer success owning an upsells? These are the very important decisions that will work, understanding what are your future goals. Like example, if you are taking the high volume of customers, very small customers with a high volume, you should move onboarding away from customer success, because if customer success is doing onboarding, then they end up doing just onboarding. They don't have time for customer success. Whereas if you have a business where you have figured out your upsell triggers, and those are not just product triggers, like example, like a pre-assessment software, like example, their customer success is using your software, and now you want to penetrate with their product team, hiring for salespeople. Okay, then in that case, there needs a lot of hunting down. So probably it's not a good idea to give that responsibility to customer success. They can facilitate that, but if it requires for your upsell to hunt on LinkedIn, go chase the right person and make a company-wide deal for you. If that's your strategy and that's how you intend to do your upsell, then it is different from customer success. But if it is like once one hiring manager works with you and they refer to second hiring manager, that's a very easy process driven thing. Then I think everything can be included. So you have to second way organize it based on customer journeys, and you have to take these calls quite early in the game. Otherwise it's too late, because people are skilled process to function in that way. So it's very important to take these calls earlier than later. And third, I think I touched upon the third thing is more on the skill set. Internally, you have your chota teams of advocacy, of CS technology,
Correct.
small 1-person team, so that it becomes scalable after 2-3 years when you're really ready for it.
So that the team is overall strong and there are complementary set of skills in the team.
Yeah. And
That's
then it will increase your retention rate with your employees because they are doing something creative apart from their normal work. And everybody wants to do that. Everybody wants to follow their passion.
so here's something which is then my next question is going to really, it's targeted towards my customers. They ask me, and I'm going to ask you this question. What is the right way to hire and interview for the customer success position? Executive or manager, that's up to you. How do you go about hiring for this role? What are the key skills, hard or soft, that you look for? I'm asking you this question because you've done this quite a few times. You've built teams in different industries, the CS team. So what do you look for in a customer success professional? And how do you go about hiring or screening that person?
Okay, a very good question. I think this is something I would love to talk. To start with, I think every hiring manager in customer success, okay, needs to think of their own brand presence. Because I personally feel it's an exercise, like my personal opinion, it's a branding exercise. Okay, good customer success people will not join you for a good salary. They are already getting it. Okay, they want to work with you. They want to because they want to go through the understanding of customer success process with you. Understand it. So in my opinion, if a good hiring manager needs to have their own brand on LinkedIn, and it can be very simple, just be an active on LinkedIn. Okay.
Correct.
You get a great talent there. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Now I consider that as a complete funnel approach. Okay. Of first of all, finding out what kind of a person am I looking for. And it like for an SMB, I consider like a very different approach for SMB versus enterprise. Okay.
All right. So let's probably start with SMB.
Yeah. So for SMB, the first thing that they need to have, they are working with volume of customer. Okay.
Correct.
So a person who's working on it needs to be kind of a lazy, so that he or she will do and think in one-to-many fashion. If a person is very active, they are every time drafting the same email. Every time. They are not thinking of templatizing it.
Okay.
So person needs to be techie, thoda.
Okay.
Person needs to be analytical in nature, because if he's thinking for like I was once a custom CS for SMB and I had 50 customers.
Okay.
Possible to create customer success mutual plan for 50 customers. Impossible to do QBRs with them.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Then you need to play with right data. You need to create templates. You need to put all your time, I think most of the time, in setting up this experience. So I would always go for somebody who's analytical in nature, somebody who can think in one-to-many fashion. Of course, the basic skills of good comprehension. Forget about, people, when you comprehend something, there are a lot of aspects of comprehension. Okay. So this is the kind of a person you are looking for, in hiring for SMB. If you put a strategic person, he's trying to create PPT for everybody, every 50 customers, and he'll be exhausted and leave the job. But if you bring something of this sort, then they are able to drive your SMB motto with more productized version of things. Let's try to do something. Now, skills that you are looking for, as I said, basic is comprehension.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Very well articulation, because most of this time you are creating one on many things. You need to write very well. And write means not creative writing. I think business value writing needs to be very clear. Of course, as I said, more analytical in nature, and multitasker and all that kind of things for SMB. And you can really, in your hiring process, I think when you are trying to hire for the people, pre-assessment is, testing or this kind of a software would really help, because you will find lot of people in working in SMB. Most of the Indian SaaS ecosystem SMB only.
Correct.
Okay. And again, do not try to spend too much on hiring very experienced, or I think too much expensive resources for SMBs.
Okay.
And assessment and everything, I think, as I said. Whereas in the case of enterprise, proper, like when you are saying enterprise, it's probably your company's enterprise. It can be 10,000, it can be 100,000, it can be probably $1 million of contracts.
Right.
For everybody, enterprise change. But when we are dealing with that, it needs to, enterprise CSM needs to be damn consultative. Okay, they needs to they need to able to showcase a very deep understanding of product, business, CS domain. Okay, they needs to be having some kind of McKinsey consultant traits. They need to be able to put everything on PPT and share, express, convey. So while hiring for these people, okay, I would recommend giving them a case study. Simple case study of whatever is your product. Go try to understand the space from the website, understand my business, okay, and my customer, and create an onboarding plan for me, present as if I am a customer. So always go with the case study. That helps you understand every aspect of a proper enterprise, because it's fine that they don't use a lot of processes. Eventually you'll have to get the processes.
Correct.
But then that will be, beating them and making them work. You cannot let that happen. And I'm saying proper enterprise, probably they're just taking 5 customers at that level,
because they're that strategic in nature.
You don't have time for all this. You're doing all analytics at a customer level, one customer and taking it. Now, when it comes to hiring a funnel, as I was saying, okay, I had a wonderful experience of setting up a hiring process for CSB. What we used to do is, first of all, people want to work with good leaders who are doing real customer success. Because they've already burned their hands doing tactical jobs and somewhere, and they're frustrated, and that's why they're leaving. So they want to be attached with good things. So first thing that we used to do was we used to give a webinar. So I like this 45 minutes webinar on, okay, who are we? Like, what's customer success box that time? Who are we? What's the mission of the company? What are we exactly solving? How's our team internally? Okay. What you would be doing after coming here? What's the hiring process looks like? Okay. That like a lot of people used to join for a webinar. Okay. That created, first of all, buzz that, we are hiring, that all the kind of a branding exercise happens, all kind of awareness happens. And it just take 45 minutes of an hiring manager to like a really smart hiring manager. Simple presentation on how this is. So they're excited to join you rather than you are going after them, because they are going to get a lot of job. If the person is good, they have minimum 3 offer letters for sure. Why would they choose you? Right?
That's true.
So in that case, so that's a first funnel, a 45-minute webinar, and followed with, I used to give them this case study because our role was always strategic. Our customer success used to be strategic in nature. So this simple case study, and we used to give 7 days. You think, present, give your best. Okay. I think around 150 registrations we used to have. Okay. 50 people used to turn up for a webinar. Okay. Then out of that, whoever is asking me questions, very sensible questions, I had to write their names. Monday morning used to call them that I am specially interested in you. Okay, just giving you. So they used to be, wow, she called me, and it was a celebrity moment. But 15 minutes of Monday, 4 people. And I've seen out of those 5-6 people, 4 assignments I used to get.
Okay.
2 people, excellent. Then we have to make a committee. Okay, who to hire.
Who to hire.
Yes, because of these 2 people, they have to present that case study. So you have 4 interviews, in all honesty, 4 hours, because you've cut down every possible people. You've
You've
created
taken
like
150 people to 2 people in a span of 4 hours of 4 man hours, if I would say that.
man-hours. And once webinar is recorded, I think for that role, it was easy. Then my HR used to just put that, read this, go to this, because you couldn't make it to our webinar, go through this link, understand. And I build a lot of connections. Like even after that webinar, I'm connected with those people. They ask me, like, it is a journey of an hiring manager. They are going to be a hiring manager for next 20 years. Why not prepare right to market for you? So
That's actually a great way of doing that. Anu, we're very close to running out of time. I think we're already over time. But there's one question. It's very simple. I think Lites Barlett has put this in the comment box. Hi there. Thank you for this session. Could you speak about what would help someone transitioning into customer success from business development or account managing side?
Mhm.
So what advice would you give to someone who wants to get into customer success from account management or BD kind of a role?
Okay. First of all, they are the best people to transition into this role. First,
Okay.
because they already are extroverts. They don't have any hesitation to put their thoughts. They are in every negotiation. If you are a good BD, you have done right kind of a negotiations.
Correct.
So you can put difficult conversations. So good things. Third thing, you can talk about product confidently. So you have every threat to be a good customer success. You just need to, I think, focus on process, because
Okay.
in your mind you are always get rid of customers. Like once it is closed, right? But for a customer success manager, okay, it is a long path. So that mindset change, that I have to be there and keep on answering reply, keep on adding value. It's not a one time thing. Okay. And for that, if you really are planning to transition, I would say go and do a customer success course, proper
Okay.
B2B SaaS course, which helps you understand whatever are doing is attributing to where. Okay.
Mhm.
I think for the success hacker course, it's hardly 7 to 8 hours of a course material.
Okay.
Okay. So that would be great. And if you have ever done account management, that is way easier for you. For account management team, all you have to do is try adding more and more value. Okay. So get used to more work rather than few deals. Okay. But yeah, I think you don't consider yourself any short of customer success. You're just there. Just do a good customer success course. Try to understand the right vocabulary and change your mindset to more long term. And I think you'll nail it.
All right. I think we are really out of time. We thought this was going to be a 40-minute session, but I guess we're close to 50 minutes right now. Thank you, Anu. I think this was great. A lot of our customers are going to come back to us, or probably they're going to connect to you, because I think your ideas, especially the ones revolving around the webinar, this is great. I think I've been in this space, but I've not heard someone tell me this part. That's a really good way of screening candidates. And definitely, I think the set of skills that you mentioned for SMB, for enterprises, I think a lot of folks would have made notes of that. And thank you so much. Thank you so much for joining in. No wonder that you are listed in the top 100 customer success managers of the world. I think it's but obvious. I think we have, yeah, I think, thank you so much for your time. I guess there are no more questions. It's been great talking to you. Folks, if you have any questions that you want me to get answers from Anu, feel free to send it over to our team. You could send it to Dheeraj, and we'll make sure that if there are any questions, we'll get it answered over email from Anu. Anu, again, thank you so much for your time. And for everybody else, please stay tuned to Xobin Talks. We're going to continue to connect with a lot more people from customer success, from sales, and we're trying to bring you as much valuable content as possible. So thank you so much for your time. This is me, Amrit from Xobin, signing off. Bye-bye.